Okay, this is part 2 of my Etudes for double bass drumming book. In the first section, we used a motif with 4 bass drum notes, right, left, right, left. In this section, we're doing just right, left, right, because that feels different. And I've been emphasizing this already in this series, is that double bass drumming, it's not so much that it's hard in and of itself, but it's a balance thing, and we'll talk more about that on your seat, but also getting the left foot strong and getting it to match the right foot, making sure these rhythms are nice and even and comfortable. And I find that most of the time, it's what you're doing around the double bass drumming that makes the double bass drumming uncomfortable. And so that's what we're working on in this book. So number 1 would go like this. Now, you should have watched part 1 of this series first, because I talk about some things I'm not going to repeat. Let's talk about why am I using right, left on my bass drum. When I learned to play double bass drum, I learned 2 different ways. There was one guy that was trying to teach me to lead with my left foot, because if you're keeping time with your left foot on the hi-hat, your left foot's already used to doing that, so playing stuff like this, where you're leading with the left foot, at least on the double bass drum rhythm. The reason why I'm not a fan of that is when it does come to the bass drum, that's not a natural thing to do. Most of the rhythms that we always play lead with the right foot. Always. So to me, it doesn't make sense to go ahead and switch that around and start with the left foot. I'm also never an advocate of using your left foot and your right hand at the same time unless you have to, because it's just kind of weird and not very comfortable. It's not a very natural, organic movement to do that. If you can do that, that's great. I can do it. That's great, but I don't play that way. I find that I'm more successful as a player leading everything with my right foot because I'm a right-handed drummer, or at least mostly a right-handed drummer. So with a rhythm like this, you want to be very careful that those notes are very even and spaced out. Sometimes it's easy just to flop that left foot in there and not pay too much attention to it. Make sure you stroke everything out. So as you get through this section, you'll find that the bass drums surrounding the 3-note bass drum motif, they're just moving around. And like I've already mentioned in the first video, that's all because it changes the way the groove feels. And when you change the way the groove feels, then the liability of not playing with good timing or good sound quality, all those things start creeping in. So you want to focus on being as accurate as possible and tight. And one other thing actually to back up, I was going to mention, there's some other drummers out there that advocate playing double bass a little differently. So instead of an alternating right, left, right, or left, right, left thing, sometimes they'll do things like a double right and a left, like I think for some purposes down the road when you become a more advanced player, techniques like that might be kind of cool to use for things, but I think in general, I wouldn't advocate starting out that way. Let's keep things simple and just alternate right, left for all these patterns.